For Nancy Drummond, community service isn't a chapter of life. It's the whole story. With every role she's taken on, Nancy has woven in compassion, advocacy, and action. As the founding force and executive director of the North Main Association, Nancy has worked tirelessly to strengthen and revitalize one of Sheridan's neighborhoods. She's helped thousands of people navigate critical healthcare decisions as a benefits and marketplace navigator, offering guidance with knowledge and heart. Since 1990, Nancy has also quietly served on the front lines of care, delivering home-delivered meals, week after week, year after year. Her public service includes the Sheridan City Council and the school board, always lifting up the needs of the community. Whether organizing the farmers market or championing policies that make life better for seniors, Nancy brings people together and never stops asking what more can be done.
Well, I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. And then I got married to Bruce way back in the day. And the day after we got married, he was stationed at Point Mugu, California. So we moved to California and we lived there for 2.5 years. And then we moved to Newcastle. So I went from Detroit, Michigan to Malibu Beach area to Newcastle. Talk about a culture shock. So we've been in the state of Wyoming since 1975. And I always ask, when do I get to become a native? And I have 3 kids. Mark is my oldest, Jamie's my middle one, and Glenn is my youngest. And so they live in different states, so we get to go travel and to see them. I went to Eastern Michigan for 1 year and then got married and then went to and graduated from Sheridan College. So I really am a native. My work history is predominantly working with older people. When I went to school, I was going to be in occupational therapy, and this is kind of interesting, is I had to work with old people. And I went, well, I don't want to do that. And then I guess God just kept banging me back into it, and I love it, so that's my calling. Got hired out at Heritage Towers. And I worked there for 24 years. As their service coordinator, it was a new program, and I got to develop it, and I loved working there. It was so much fun. People that say older women are just so sweet and nice, they don't know them real well. As a service coordinator, Heritage Towers is basically what they call independent living, and so in order to keep them out of the nursing home, I had to find services that they could get so that they could age in place safely. You name it, I had to find it. And I worked really well with it all those years.
So I have known Nancy for probably over 30 years. When I first got involved in nonprofits here in Sheridan, she was already a force advocating for older people. The thing that I most valued was her connection to people. I wanted to find out what the pulse was on older people in Sheridan. Nancy knew what it was.
I guess it was a calling that I was supposed to work with older people. Well, my dad said, when you live in a community, you really don't have the right to complain about it unless you're participating in it. And I probably have gone overboard. When I was on the city council, which was in 1984, I was the only woman on the council at the time. If I had an idea, they wouldn't take it from me, but if I gave it to a guy, they'd take it from him and then it would get implemented. So you just sometimes, if it's a great idea and you can't get it done yourself, you don't need to take credit for it, ever. You just need to get it done. So you just find a way to come in the back door and do it. And that was the best lessons I learned when I was on the council. And I was on the school board for 12 years. People don't realize how important education is. I didn't until I got on the school board, and it's amazing that if you make bad choices, that hurts the kids. When Dave was running for mayor, people kept asking him what he was going to do about North Main. And Nancy, Sela, and I somehow or another opened our mouth, and the next thing I know, we're having block parties and doing public meetings and everything to get input as to how people would like North Main to look.
I first met Nancy when I was mayor of the city of Sheridan, and we were dealing with what was then the largest annexation in city history, which was, I think, 600 acres north of town. And Nancy's adult life had been spent in North Main. She'd raised her children there, and she was an avid champion for the North Main neighborhoods. And so we needed people from that neighborhood to help guide our deliberations as a city. And Nancy was one of the first to step forward and say, let me know how I can help. And so the North Main Association was formed, Nancy as executive director, and they helped organize cookouts actually from in the street, where we'd go door to door, we'd leaflet, we'd say, hey, we're going to have this cookout in the middle of such and such an intersection. Please come, tell us what you'd like to see happen to the North Main neighborhood. And that's the kind of grassroots, bottom-up, neighbor-by-neighbor engagement that Nancy really excels at. And to this day, I do not believe that the Wrench Ranch annexation would have taken place had it not been for Nancy Drummond and the volunteers of the North Main Association. She was absolutely critical in that effort.
It's where I live, it's where a lot of people live, and so I just want to keep working on it, even though it takes time. If I see somebody that is in need of something, it's my natural being to help them out. I had a couple that came to me, and they did not know they could qualify for Medicaid. They didn't know they could qualify for extra help for their prescription drugs. We saved them $700. Now, how can you not be happy with doing that? I mean, $700 a month, increase their income by that much with those services. It was amazing.
So I really appreciate how she works with individuals and makes them feel heard and helps explain a really sometimes challenging situations.
She meets with them individually to counsel them on healthcare decisions that they have to make. And recently she learned that her work might be cut because of funding cuts. And she said she was going to continue to do it regardless. That's just who Nancy is. She just steps up and does it, and because it's the right thing to do.
I do it because it's the love of Sheridan that I have, and the fact that I always wanted to make it a better community.
She loves this community. She loves a lot of things about what she does, I know, but her family and her close friends are her priority in life, and she knows that there are a lot of people out there that need her help. And we really do. A lot of people count on her. You don't really know you need her until you need her, and then she's right there.
I think she's just got a heart that is just as big as the all outdoors. I think she cares about people. I think she cares about people that a lot of people don't necessarily care about.
What I have found is communication is the biggest gift we have, and people need to learn how to communicate, how to be empathetic. Sometimes you hear stories that you wouldn't have heard if they didn't feel like you were trustworthy and they could communicate to you. I think we miss that a lot in this kind of world now. One-on-one talking to each other is so important, and you get so much out of it. I hope my work inspires others to Volunteer. It's such a rewarding thing. And it's not only for people my age, but it's for the young ones. The rewards you get back from volunteering and helping others is unbelievable. I'm really proud of the work I do with Medicare, Medicaid in the marketplace. That's my true love. And I'm really proud of what we've done on North Main. Those are big, huge accomplishments that I love. I love it when I come in from the north end of town and it's not all scraggly looking and there's pretty trees and the lights are beautiful. And I'm just proud of it that, we were part of it and got to help make it better.
She gets behind issues and challenges, and she just doesn't talk about it. She rolls up her sleeves and gets involved.
What I would hope that others take from Nancy's example is what it means to truly serve others without judgment. Whoever needs help, she's going to help them. I just can't speak highly enough of her abilities and her talents and what she's able to do for people, a person at a time. That's the way it works. It's just whether it's North Main neighborhood, it's a neighbor at a time. If it's the navigator of the system, it's one person at a time. Or when she was managing the senior housing project, it's just one person at a time, very patiently listening, working, solving problems.
I hope to be remembered as a kind person who cared about her community and really would try to do anything she could to help others.